That's right, baby. We're back. Yeah, that is right, guys. We're back. Another upload, another review. Game Pass week was straight fire, guys. 100 line. So many games are on Game Pass. And what a run it was. I am not kidding, guys. This was wild. This was really the definition of what I believe Game Pass does best, is presenting you with the ability to try as much as you would like to try. And that is exactly what I did, guys. I went through quite a few games. As you know, at the end of last week, I want to say I was teetering around 5,000, maybe 4 and some change. I can't really remember, but jumped up over 11.3. Some of these full completions, guys, of just trying stuff out. And believe it or not, gang, we are still Bluey and Peppa Pig free on this account. That's right, Pallet Evan still has not crossed that bridge, but there were a lot of other bridges that got crossed. So let's dive in. Oh my god, I hope you guys had a wonderful Father's Day. My dad is a badass. He and I put in a new power supply into his computer. She's up and running, had some jerky, had some great baked potatoes. All in all, a really great day. So I hope you and your fathers also had a great day. But diving in, we're going to take a look, gang. Let's talk about our first game. This really was the definition of what I just said, a taste tester, and that is retro classics. I've actually seen this pop up on True Achievements a few times, just kind of bringing up all kinds of legitimate classic Xbox games. So anywhere from like OG, Pitfall, very early era games. Spoilers, here's what I found out. While I am good at games, I haven't put enough time into that era of games to really hone skills, because I didn't stay long. I stayed enough to get a few games going, turned into cannon fodder for somebody in a competition that I accidentally put myself in. So I'm sure they were happy to have the free G on that. But I was able to get out a few achievements. A classic Xbox 360 grab, an original Xbox grab, just some of the little collectibles, and then I was moving on. Now, the next game, though, I moved on to was Culebra. Now, this is one that Noisy had already played. This is a very artsy, interesting, narratively driven game where you play a snake that helps people. You are the ultimate helping snake. And it's honestly, the whole concept behind it, it's very simple. It's heavily narrative driven. Controls are easy to get used to, but what I liked most about it is the simple emphasis on comprehension. You need to make sure that what you're reading, you're not just mashing A or X to get by. I'm not sure if this is on PlayStation, but if it is, don't go mashing X. Like, make sure you're paying attention to what people are saying, because it does end up coming to a point later for you to be able to progress in the game. Whether it's something you might have learned actively, like mixing some herbs together to make sure that you're making the right kind of like like a pesticide or something like that in a boss battle, if memory serves me right. But any like active stuff that you learned along the way, but also passives. Like, I ran into a boss who was like, oh, well, you don't even know who my favorite band is. And had I not been parading around talking to people and talking to him and just kind of paying attention to what was being said, I would have completely missed that, and it could have lost me out in a big ticket situation. So I really do like the concept behind Culebra, and if you're Game Pass hunting, definitely check it out. I still have to complete it, but it was pretty awesome. I very much enjoyed myself. Got 700G in it so far. Moving right along, though, I had a little bit of a palate cleanser by trying out, yes, the Patrick Star game. This was potentially about as childish as I got on the list. There is a Lego game on the list, though, so we'll see. Patrick Star was a blast. I did not get all of the achievements in it, but just being able to freaking just roll around Bikini Bottom, literally, sometimes on a boulder, sometimes being dragged while being stung by a jellyfish. Me and Patrick learned how to dunk, so we were dunking on people up in Bikini Bottom. I was sweeping residents out so Squidward could get his, to get his sunbathe on. Man's got a tan, and we were looking for a way to make money. So hey, we're gonna help him out. Honestly, what you see is what you get. If you watch any little teaser or anything surrounding the Patrick Star game, it is 100% authentic. It really is. It's just, yeah, it's very akin to like Goat Simulator, Ragdolly, and stuff like that, and just riddled with mini games all over Bikini Bottom. So if that is your thing, guys, jump into Patrick Star. It was a lot of fun. After Patrick, I did take a little dip in Dungeons of Hinterberg. This was another one I had seen Noisy play a little bit of, and honestly, game was pretty cool. I didn't get a lot of G in it. I know this seemed like, how did you end up getting as much G as you got here for this video? But yeah, I didn't get a ton of G in this one either, but it was fun to give it a go, to try something new. Another one, I like the animation style. Also, like, again, that level of thinking. I want dungeons to make me think a little bit now. Use your components. This game felt like a Zelda game, and that, dude, that should be the highest honor from the devs for this one, because it's a solid game. The combat mechanics are good, and I love the tool-based dungeons and getting around that way. So definitely give it a shot. My next one, I could have called upon the gang. I could have. All right, everybody, let's put a stalemate down and let's all work together to get some G. But instead, I elected to just plug 4 controllers in and try out Mad Streets, guys. That's right, Mad Streets. Little kind of ragdolly, crazy, freaking high school fighting bro down, okay? Plugged in 4 controllers in one match. I think I got like 5 achievements. This was the game that broke the gamer score loose, and it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. Ragdolling people around. You get your special. You get all charged up, and you activate it and just launch somebody. And then the story mode. From time to time, you're gonna find yourself like fighting the actual other gangs, whether they're frats or jocks or whatever. But in general, it's like miscellaneous students who are all just gang rushing you and stuff, and you just beat the living crap out of them. It is so funny. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where there's a flavor of everything in Game Pass games. After that, I did go ahead and take care real quick. Download it because it is a Play Anywhere title. It does make it free to be able to have that shared achievement list on PC. Figured it would be a lot easier to do it this way, but Case of the Golden Idol, studied this one. I know a lot of people said, like, if you pull up a walkthrough and kind of ruin stuff, and yeah, while I was going down to the solutions and everything and kind of going through it, it was still cool to see the imagery and go through everything, even if by the end it was, okay, I've got everything, now I just gotta fill it into the different boxes and such. So it didn't completely tarnish the game for me, but I also understand, like, for the more like investigation style player, you're not gonna likely want to do that in a game like this. Still pretty cool story. I guess there's a sequel. Oh, Oichi-san online trying to get some achievements. We better watch out, guys. But anyway, after Case of the Golden Idol, I had to pause because I always mess up the pronunciation of this. Dordogun. I want to say that's it. Noisy has been saying it over and over and over and over and over, and I told her when I put the video up that I was gonna mess it up. I hope it's Stortigun, because I'm pretty certain that's what it is. Anyway, this game, I happened to see Uichi playing, and it's like, oh, okay, this one's leaving Game Pass. In fact, today, I believe this one has left Game Pass. So sadly, if you weren't able to get on it through Game Pass, you might consider a sale down the line or something akin to that, because this is a little narrative experience. And you know, you walk around, you still collect things, and one of the most tedious achievements was like every time you're in the child stage, you got to make sure to go to use the bathroom. But other than that, it was a unique little story. Just a girl who's in a rough situation, let's say, with her parents, and her parents are in kind of a rough situation with her grandparents as well, and you kind of get that over the journey. But just she visits her grandma's old house and remembers this one summer where she had gone up there, and she was really jaded about it initially and ended up having a great experience over there. It actually reminded me a lot of the film Secondhand Lions. And it was just a really well put together indie title. Like, the one thing I really enjoyed about it is there are sequences where you're rowing down the river, and man, the water effects against the animation choice they chose for like land masses and everything was just gorgeous. It was gorgeous on the Series X. I'm sure this is in my trophy log for doing something on PS Pro as well, so I can't wait to try that out. It's undoubtedly going to continue to look gorgeous. I thought the game was really well put together. Now, with that one aside though, we did go ahead and switch gears over to Doom 1 and Doom 2 Classic, you guys. And not just those. Legacy of Rust, Sigil 1, Sigil 2, Evolution TNT, like this whole bombastic package for Doom, for classic Doom. Now, I love the Dark Ages. I love Doom 2016, still my favorite Doom video game. Doom Eternal, I want to give another go now that I've done the Dark Ages, just to dial it back and just really kind of put my thinking cap back on, because I really do like what Doom Eternal did. And even though it didn't hit with me the first time, something tells me a second journey through will have a little more appreciation of it versus the arcadey nature. But that aside, Doom 1, Doom 2, these achievements were a literal blast, you guys. Taking every gun known to man, which pretty much all of them have an achievement tied to them, and mowing through the dead. Level completions, I was able to do this on the PC, and I did cheese it on the PC with like exit level and stuff like that. Well, the funny thing was, is even after I fully completed the game, all right, 1,000 out of 1,000, while I should have been moving on to another game, I found myself for another 2 to 3 hours just, nope, I'm not done yet. Let's go. Let's keep slaying. And yes, you are actually seeing some footage, yeah, trophy clips, because I just did Doom 1 and Doom 2 Doom 1 Classic, Doom 2 Classic, for both the PS4 and PS5 earlier today before I went over for Father's Day. And could not get enough of this classic package, you guys. It is so awesome. If you're a Doom fan, you know what you're getting into. I know you guys know the cheats, but just in case you don't, IDDQD, IDKFA, those will get you started. Then you can look up the rest for clipping or even for exit level, which you will find that that's not too different from what I just said. Oh man. All right, after Doom though, this was one I busted Noisy playing out there on the living room. It's a little game that actually launched on my PlayStation 4. I came home and it was installed on the hard drive when I brought my PS4 home. And of course it came as a Game Pass game on the list. It's called Contrast. Now, this has been on the backlog for as long as I've had a PS4. Well, she's going through it and everything. It's a very bite-sized experience, probably about maybe I'd say I got all the gamer score in maybe 2-4 hours. This was another one I went back today. Footage you're watching is on and off PlayStation footage. Because I wanted to go back and get it. Though this didn't have a platinum trophy, it did have that sweet 1000G over on Xbox, and just a really cool experience. It reminded me a lot of like the narrative structure reminded me of the park, where there's not really a lot that you can do wrong to end up missing out on the gamer score, but the concept elements in this game are following what would later be perfected in games like Mario Odyssey, where you're bouncing in the wall. And yes, I'm well aware The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds implemented that, right? Undoubtedly, I would guess around the same time as Contrasted. So it's not super new, but it was inviting. It was a welcome gameplay mechanic, and it didn't overstay that welcome throughout. Like, the story is also pretty cool, very, very noir, this game, the way they're trying to do things. But I loved being able to shift in, do some puzzles, get in, and honestly, like, the way that they wove the puzzles with the narrative, just really well done, I thought, anyway. And at the end of the day, God, I mean, if you didn't like it, it's maybe an hour or two of your time that you could get back and everything. So it's not too bad. And if you're on the achievement trophy hunting spectrum, dude, you can do a lot worse than this one. So yeah, it's definitely, I would say definitely give it a shot. That one, I believe, was my last really big one as far as G goes, was Contrast. I did go ahead and dip into Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, because any opportunity I can to pistol up and be Han Solo, I'm gonna try to do that. And this is one of the absolute biggest Lego games I have ever played. Ever. It is huge. Like, it spans all of the movies, but when you're leading up to missions, which if you played Lego games, you know what a traditional mission is. As you're going up, you're walking through Mos Eisley. Like, you're doing this, and you're traveling, you're on the beach, like, you're there. It's awesome. I don't really have much more to say about it because it's Lego, it's Star Wars. What more do you need at that point? I mean, every Lego Star Wars game has been solid in some capacity, and this encompasses every mainline movie and comes with a bunch of add-ons with like characters from expanded universe stuff. So yeah, if you're even remotely into Legos or Star Wars, or you just like getting gamer score, you should probably check it out because it's definitely worth your time. Next one I actually did was Road 96. This was one that pops up on a lot of Easy G games, and this was one that by the time I started playing it, I was like, I'm not vibing with it. I mean, one second I'm in a limo with this like reporter chick, and she gets all pissed at me and puts me out on the street, and then I'm helping this kid at a payphone, and that whole thing. I get it. It's meant to be like chance encounters on the road until you get to Road 96, or at least that was the vibe that I was getting. But when you've got a dude kidnapped in a trunk and he's popping out trying to warn me, and I get out and I run away, and I'm still like, this game isn't really vibing, I had to go ahead and pass on it. And that kind of leads me again back to what I was saying is, in any achievement hunting challenge, unless you're committed to completion percentage, bro, you're not married to the game. Like, video games are about having fun. Like, and even your completion percentage is not that important. So just keep that in mind. You can move on anytime and should move on anytime. The last game I played this week, nobody had on their bingo card. I promise you, nobody had it on their bingo card, and that is Battlefield 4. Yes, we rolled the Game Pass wheel, and as part of it, because everyone had Ultimate, we were able to play games from EA Play. Battlefield 4, I was just like, you know, what the heck? I'm not gonna rack up a bunch of G in this game, but I just kind of feel like a bombastic military shooter right now. And yeah, it hits on that right away. I went from commanding squad mates to jumping in a truck to drive our cover a little bit closer to firing grenades at a helicopter that was shooting down a building. It checks all the boxes, man. If you're just in the mood for something like that as a palate cleanse, or that's what you've been looking for, hey, Battlefield 4 was exactly what the doctor ordered. And by then, going into today, like I mentioned, kind of booted up, looked around over on the PlayStation side. I figured I'd let the 11.3 set where it is. Noisy was able to kind of thin the gap. She met a goal, hitting 10,000. So she's within, oh God, looks like about 1,100 of us as of this little point here. Corbinzilla 7.5, he had some rises. Oichi jumped, I believe she was at 2 at the beginning of the week and has jumped up to 7. So everybody leveraged Game Pass week very well. So now I got to tell you about the spin. The spin, speaking of Game Pass, it grabbed us for one more round, and that rule is you have to get an achievement in a Game Pass game. So before we can go on to playing whatever we want, you gotta pick out a Game Pass game, get your achievement, screenshot it, get it on over to the lobby, make sure everyone is doing it right. And here we go again. This, I think, will probably be where the plot thickens. You'll start to see people start playing some of their favorite titles where they kind of have a lay of the land, maybe something you played before, and go back and clean up. I myself, I'm always in the mood, as you can tell from the old Eras Tour shirt, for some Resident Evil action. Got a few Final Fantasy games I could clean up, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this is the week that maybe some of the cheaper stuff comes out of play. We start seeing a lot of people start to play their hand, gang. So I want to hear from you guys. There was a lot of games that I played on Game Pass this week. Are you running alongside the challenge? If so, how are you doing with your communities? Have you played any of these games? Have you gotten your Doom on, gang? Because if you haven't, please go do it. What are we doing? Please. Outside of all that, please let me know what you're playing. If you're following along with your challenge, are you synced up on true achievements, or have you been bagging alongside? Because I did mention pulled some true trophies as well, guys, or PSM profiles, wherever you like to check things out. I hope you guys had an awesome Father's Day. Thank you for checking out this video. We're gonna leave this one here. You guys have a good one.